Hello everyone, good day. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we'll be looking at name. N-A-M-E, name. Yes, you'll be wondering what we'll be discussing. Name is what we use to identify people, to identify objects. And names for people are given to us by mostly our parents, our biological parents, our foster parents, whichever one. This name that we bear, we got them. Someone gave it to us. We didn't give it to ourselves, except when we are kids. Except when we grow up, some of us change due to marriage or due to circumstances around them. They decide to change. But for our kids, for the purpose of this video, is for our kids. The purpose of this video is for what? Our children who are registered in various schools. Now, I making this video to enlighten you, for you to be able to enlighten your children, to encourage your children to enlighten your children, and to teach them the correct way of writing their names. Now, first of all, we have here first name. What is first name? First name is the name that you call that child. You know, most times it's those names that you preferably like calling that child. That's the first name. That any place you ask the child, what is your name? The first thing you say is that name. Let me use Cynthia as an example. Hey girl, what is your name? Cynthia. You will not even think it. And the next one here we have surname, or you call it last name. If you don't call it surname, you call it what? Last name. This surname here is the father's name. That's the origin where the child comes from, the father's name or the family name. The family name. The name that the child inherited from the family. So either they see it as surname or you see it as last name. In some forms that you are filling, either you see the last name or you see surname. That's the name inherited from the family. Then this one here, middle name, or you call it second name. These names are names that you add to the child's name in order to differentiate him or her from others. Yes, they call it middle name, or you call it what? Second name. So in case we see it in a form, some forms we see middle name, in some forms you see second name. So in this surname, in some forms you see last name, in some forms you see surname. So it's very necessary you educate your child on the order of use of our name for the sake of the future. Why am I making this video? I encountered a child who is in school. The child, the name is writing on his notebook and textbook in school is different from the names in his birth certificate. And even the parents are calling the child that name that is writing in school, when that name is not even in the birth certificate. How can you be calling a child Joy, and in her birth certificate, the names there is Cynthia Adobe Okeke, which is first name is Cynthia, middle name or second name Adobe, surname or last name Okeke. But in the school, the child is answering Joy Okeke. Why calling the child Joy Okeke when you know that the name is not in the birth certificate? So check yourself very well. If you know the name you have written for your child in the birth certificate, please teach that child that name. You should frequently be calling that child that name, so that the child will know that this is his or her name. Should in case you ask the child, what is your name? And he will say it. And when he check these books or his birth certificate, the same thing will be there. In most times, you see parents, they will write names for the children. A lot of names. And the child will be confused on the one to bear. In our society today, there are no forms that you see that will tell you to write your 15 names or your 10 names or 7 names. The only space you will see is first name, last name, most especially. Most times, middle name and second name will be appearing. Middle name or second name will be appearing. Now, it is necessary and very important to give your child 3 names and notify the child, these are your 3 names. Anytime they ask you your name, these 3 names is what they are going to mention, which is the first name, the middle or second name, the surname or the last name. Why? You know, in this our Nigeria, most people answer the same name, probably their first name and last name. It will be the same. For instance, when I was serving in the north, in my place of PPA, NYC, it was a secondary school for boys. In the class where I am the form mistress, whenever I come to call register, we have 4 Abdullahi Mohammed. 4 in one class, SS2E. How can we have 4 Abdullahi Mohammed in one class? They don't have 4 of them don't have middle names. They don't have second name, or you can say middle name. And in identifying them, they will be dragging, I am this one. Once they say that the vacant in the register, that this one is absent, this one is absent, the one that have full tick good that is present all through the week or all through the term, all of them will be dragging down. Malama, I am this person. Malama, I am this number 27. Why dragging number 27? What happens to other name? Because of this name. The names are not complete. The only way they used to identify themselves is Abdullahi Mohammed 1, Abdullahi Mohammed 2, Abdullahi Mohammed 3. It is them themselves, the students themselves, gave themselves that numbers in order to differentiate them. Because they always try to drag. Initially, when the teachers mark a script, something like script, they did test. They did their test on a sheet of paper, and the teacher finished marking it and share it to the students. You see them, the one that has the higher marks, they will dragging it. What will be hearing it? It's me. See my handwriting. I'm the owner. Why dragging it? Because the names are not what? Complete. So parents, let's learn how to give our children complete. It is rare. It is rare. It is difficult to find somebody, 2 persons who answer first name, middle name, and surname the same thing. It's possible to see them. It's very, very possible, but they are rare. They are rare. So learn to give your children 3 and teach them the 3 names. Even if you have multiple beautiful names, you can call them. Even if people have nicknames, yes, but let them know that these are the names that they need to answer. If your child is answering Cynthia Adobe, okay, tell her the one that is first name. Tell her the one that is middle name. Tell her that the one that is surname. Why is needed? Because I have witnessed some persons in the bank who had this issue in their BVN and in their NIN. They had the same name but in different order. What do I mean different order? In the first name we had Cynthia. In the middle name we have Adobe. And in the surname we have Okeke in NIN. And when it comes to BVN, in the first name we have Adobe. In the middle name we have Cynthia. And in the surname we have Okeke. And now the bank cannot told the person, these names does not tally. And for such reason, you are going to do an affidavit, change of name affidavit, bring it to the bank. Let's change the one of PVN for you, since they have already done NIN. So we are going to change the one of BVN so that it will tally. So that 2 of them we have in NIN and BVN, first name will be Cynthia. In BVN, NIN, middle name will be Adobe. And in BVN and NIN, surname will be Okeke. So that it will tally. So to avoid this stress of challenge, going to the court to make affidavit, go to the newspaper to make change of name publication and all that, start now to correct it. Just look at your child's birth certificate. If you know the one that is the first name, start telling the child this is your first name. Anytime you want to fill any form, then probably your child is going for any competition outside the school. You should be able to fill the first name, know the middle name, and know the surname. And in doing so, the child will be relieved in future whenever having anything that has to do with name. Whenever having anything, any program that has to do with name, the child will not have any issue because you already know the names and how to fill them. Please, I don't know if this video have opened your eyes. Help me to share it to parents who are still registering their children. Please, on no account should you register your child in anything with a name that does not belong to that your child, that is not in the birth certificate to start with. Except that name that it's in the birth certificate, you don't like it again, you want to change it, better go and get another birth certificate. Better go and get what? Another birth certificate. And if it's not possible for you to get another birth certificate, do an affidavit of change of name for that your child, so that the child will all have issue in the future. So please do well to call your name, the name of your child, the names in the birth certificate, to avoid having issues in the future. As we do so, our children shall excel and will move forward. Thank you and have a lovely day. Bye. See you in our next educative video. Yes, tell your friends about this channel, subscribe to be updated anytime we have our post updated.